Hey Math 10 students, today we're talking about writing systems of linear equations. So now that we know how to solve systems, we know how to solve them by graphing, substitution, and elimination, we can use this to write and solve equations and applications. So since we have two variables, we're going to need two equations to solve. So we're going to be looking for those two relationships as we read these word problems. So for each problem, you're going to define the variables. So what does x equal? What does y equal? Then you're going to write out the equations. There will be two of them. You're going to solve the system, usually using substitution or elimination, and state your solution in a sentence or in words based upon what it is talking about. So our first one, we have two running backs on the Steelers football team rush for a combined total of 1,550 yards. One rushed 4 times as many yards as the other. How many were rushed by each player? So first we need to decide what two things are we talking about. So in this case, we're comparing the two running backs. So I'm going to say x equals one running back, y equals the other running back. They rushed for a combined total of 1,550 yards. That's going to be our first equation. A combined total means I'm taking one running back plus the other running back, and that's going to be 1,550. One rushed 4 times as many yards as the other. That's our second equation. So my first running back rushed 4 times as many yards as the other, so 4y. So now I got to come up with a game plan on how to solve this. Well, since this one is already solved for one of the variables, substitution is probably our best bet here. So in the first equation, instead of x, I'm going to put 4y plus 5y equals 1,550. Combine my like terms and divide by 5. So y is going to equal 310. Okay, and then finding my other one, I'm going to substitute it into this second equation here. X equals 4 times 310, which equals 1,240. So now I'm going to write in words what this means. Well, this means one running back rushed 1,240 yards, and the other rushed 310 yards. So then I have Dennis, who mowed his next door neighbor's lawn for a handful of dimes and nickels, 80 coins in all. And upon completing the job, he counted out the coins and it came to $6.60. Hopefully that was not a big yard. How many of each coin did he earn? So first we got to figure out what we're comparing here. What are our two variables? So in this case, we're talking about dimes and nickels. So I said D is the number of dimes, N is the number of nickels. We had 80 coins in all. Well, go back there. 80 coins in all. So that is a total. So I'm going to take my dimes plus my nickels, and there's going to be 80 of them. Okay, then we had a total amount. Okay, this is our money equation here. So I need to start thinking in terms of money. So my dimes, hopefully you know that a dime is 10 cents. So 10 cents per dime plus 5 cents per nickel equals a total of $6.60. So you can go about this either way. You got a good setup for elimination here because everything is all lined up already. Or you could do substitution really easily since these are already don't have any coefficients in front of them. So I'm going to do substitution. So I'm going to say D equals 80 minus N. And I'm going to use that in my second equation, plugging that in for D. 80 minus N plus 0.05 N equals 660. Distribute, I get 8 minus 10N, 0.10N plus 0.05 N equals 660. Combine my like terms here. 8 minus 0.05 N equals 660 minus 8 on both sides, and I get 0.05, negative 0.05 N equals negative $1.40. Divide by negative 0.05 by negative 0.05, and the number of nickels I get when I plug it into my handy dandy calculator, 28. Okay, so I got 28 nickels. To find out how many dimes I have, I'm going to plug it into here. So my dimes equals 80 minus 28. And that is 52. So I have 52 dimes and 28 nickels. All right, now I got Joe here, and on Monday, Joe bought 10 cups of coffee and 5 donuts for his office at the cost of $16.50. Turns out the donuts were more popular than coffee, so on Tuesday, he only bought 5 cups of coffee and 10 donuts for a total of $14.25. How much was each cup of coffee? So the two things I'm comparing here are the price of coffee and the price of donuts. So I have C and I have D here. So my first one, 10 cups of coffee and 5 donuts. So that's 10 cups of coffee plus 5 donuts equals $16.50. And on Tuesday, he had 5 cups of coffee and 10 donuts for $14.25. Now, this question only asks me about the cups of coffee. It doesn't ask me about the donuts. So to save me some time, I want the donuts to cancel out. So I'm just solving for C. And this is a perfect elimination problem. So I'm going to multiply the top by negative 2 to get negative 20C minus 10D equals, what is that, negative 33? Yeah. And add down. So I get negative 15C. The donuts cancel. 14.25 minus 33 is negative 18.75. Divide by negative 15. And a cup of coffee ends up being $1.25. So I will say $1.25 per cup of coffee. This lag is really getting me. All right, so then we can use these in geometry too, and I know a lot of you guys are in geometry. So it says 2 angles are supplementary. The larger angle is 48 degrees, more than 10 times the smaller angle. Find the measure of each angle. So first thing we need to know is we need to know, what does it mean to be supplementary? Okay, so I'm going to let x equal the measure of angle 1. Y is going to be the measure of angle 2. Supplementary, hopefully you guys know, that means that they add up to 180 degrees. So I can use that. The measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 is 180 degrees. Now it says the larger angle is 48 degrees more than 10 times the smaller angle. So the larger angle is 48 degrees more than 10 times the smaller angle. So 10 times the smaller angle plus 48 degrees. Now this is perfectly set up for substitution, so I can plug that in there. Okay, and combine my like terms. Subtract 48 from each side. Get 11y is 132. Dividing by 11, I get 12. So the measure of angle 2 is going to be 12, and then to find the bigger angle, I'm going to plug it in to this guy here. So x equals 10 times 12 plus 48. Punch that in a calculator, you get 168 degrees. So we could say the larger angle is 168 degrees, and the smaller angle is 12 degrees. All right, that is it.